Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel and today let's have a look into a new project that has just been announced by Aerosoft. And those of you who are following my channel for a longer time know that I've never been entirely happy with GSX and how their pushback logics and everything else worked. So I've constantly been complaining about my pushbacks in the sim, and unfortunately there has never really been a solution out there. Now, back in the day when Microsoft Flight Simulator started, there was a great freeware tool available for MSFS, which could do pushbacks very good, called Toolbar Pushback. Now, I used that add-on extensively, but over the time as it evolved, it got more and more problems, bringing in memory leaks, which would eventually lower your frame rates to a slideshow, and eventually it would just not be supported anymore. Now, luckily, there is a solution for that. Or is there? Well, let's have a look into what Aerosoft has announced today. And this is it, Aerosoft Tools Pushback Pro. Now, this promises to be a product that will be released soon in the future. Please note that all information here is preliminary. Things can change a bit and things can be added. So this multi-platform tool for PC, MSFS Cloud and Xbox increases the realism when the aircraft is on the platform waiting for departure. Now that's interesting wording there, on the platform. Anyway, the pictures tell the story. The tool is built in such a way that more features will and can be added. Think, for example, about the handling of seaplanes, which leaves a lot to be desired in the simulator. So, features. Aircraft pushback, backwards and forward towing. Manual and automated user pre-planned pushback. Xbox MSFS cloud compatibility, VR compatibility, intuitive user interface with add-ons, ground service, apron, and aircraft controls. Improved flow for time-critical virtual air traffic flights, example VATSIM. I wonder where that one is directed upon. Anyway, let's have a look into some of the preview pictures given. And this is what the Pushback Pro tool is going to look like. Now, some of you will say, hold on a second, Emmanuel, that looks somewhat familiar to me. And yep, so it does. And there's a very good hint in this little picture up there, called Aerosoft Toolbar Pushback Pro. Toolbar Pushback. We've heard that name, did we? And interesting there, that if we take a close look at the version number, we can kind of see where this is going. In any case, let's take a very quick break over here and leave the Aerosoft forums in order to have a look at something else. Alright, take a good guess. Of course, we are going here. The flightsim.to and Toolbar Pushback. Let's have a look into some of those pictures once again. And doesn't that look somewhat familiar to you? Doesn't that look familiar? Or that? Doesn't that all look pretty familiar to you? Well, it certainly does to me. Well, actually, I was able to talk to somebody and they told me that the developer is actually the same developer who's done Toolbar Pushback, who is now doing the Aerosoft Pushback Pro. Now, if we, however, compare what's available in Toolbar Pushback and compare what's available in Pushback Pro, we will find that the feature list is, well, the same. At least pretty much the same. Let's have a very quick look and compare the two. I've been so free to copy the feature list, or the preliminary feature list we need to say, of Aerosoft's Pushback Pro, and let's quickly compare this. So it says they have airplane pushback backwards and towing forwards. Okay, quick look, and this is from flightsim.to. We can see we've got pushback, forward, and reverse. So that feature is there in the free version. Let me go ahead. Manual and automated user pre-planned pushback procedures. Well, they even showed some pictures which looked pretty similar, you will agree. Okay, Xbox and MSFS cloud compatibility. Well, that is actually new. And that is actually a possible reason why they might be making this a PAYWARE add-on now. Because if you want to bring something into Xbox, then you need to sell it on Marketplace. Keep in mind there is no free add-ons on Marketplace. Everything you find over there is actually PAYWARE. That is by design, by the way. Microsoft does not allow selling anything in Marketplace for free, so you can only sell it for a minimum of $4.99. Now, there has not been any price announced for Pushback Pro, but you get where this is going. Okay, VR compatibility. Well, I have already used it in VR, but it is actually in the feature list as well, if we just look for it. So, let's go on then. Intuitive user interface, well, if we compare the screenshots, the user interface is really the same, so I don't see any real difference there. Improved flow for time-critical virtual air traffic flights, well, nice little reach over to GSX, but you get where this is going. Ground crew and pilot voices in different languages and accents. Well, fitting for that, over here we have the huge thank you that they have posted for people contributing their translations to Toolbar Pushback. So as you can see, we already got a lot of different voice sets over there. Okay then. Compatibility with existing and upcoming popular third-party aircraft. Well, sounds somewhat familiar, even though it would be great if they added compatibility with the Phoenix A320, which previously did not really work as the frame rate went really down. And several manual languages, well, as said, we already have that with Toolbar Pushback as well. Okay, let's go back over and have a closer look into a couple of those pictures. Alright, those over here are taken directly from the Aerosoft forums and from their preview thread. As we can see, we got a couple pictures of the Aton in action over there. We got the planned pushback, that's really exactly the same as in the freeware version. Then we go ahead and once again the manual pushback over here is exactly the same as in the freeware version. Then over here, yeah, cancel planned pushback hold, that's very similar. Nice little view from pushback tuck, but that is not exactly a detailed model. Not to say that this is probably the default model of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, that is the stuff that we already know from Toolbar Pushback FREEWARE. Same for this. You could steer the direction down there using your rudder, or you could just drag the slider along. And here we can actually see some of the options that will be available. But if we look at that, pushback maximum speed 15 knots, okay. I'm not going to comment on that. But the rest of that, yeah, there might be a little bit of stuff enhanced there compared to the latest version of the FREEWARE, but not really anything significantly new. The same goes for the ground handling stuff. This looks all pretty known, except for the start and stop engine buttons. That's taken a little while, but here we go. Same thing in action. So again, same as the FREEWARE. Well, that one I haven't seen up close in the FREEWARE in the recent days, so who knows, that might be something new here. Maybe. Well, hopefully. And the same goes for this. Okay, so, well, what can we say then? This seems new to me. Okay, so they might have added some animations. Well, that would be something to start with. So in any case, this once again looks pretty known, except for that little bug of the routing up there. But anyway. At this point, I meant to go back into the original topic and have a look into a couple more of the product announcement pages. But look at that! I'm in the Aerosoft preview forum right now, and it seems like the topic is actually gone. So, well, what can we say about that? The one thing I did want to show you, however, is this. The not yet announced project, and in here they were looking for some people who could assist with translations for a project that is not yet ready to be announced fully. And looking at this, it looks like this certainly does seem like they wanted to look for translators for the new Pushback add-on. And that is basically all that we have seen of Pushback Pro. So it looks like it was announced for a little while. I sent him a bunch of questions about the similarities between Pushback Pro and toolbar pushback, and I got a single answer, which was that the developer is the same. So the developer of toolbar pushback apparently is the same person who developed the Pushback Pro for Aerosoft. Now, with that said, what can we say about it? Well, first of all, I'm glad to see that toolbar pushback is somewhat coming back to our simulator, even though apparently as a PAYWARE add-on and no longer as a freeware. Now, the last updates we've seen to the freeware version were over a year ago in March 2022, and I haven't actually used the freeware in a while, but on the page over there it actually says that a new version that ensures compatibility with Sim Update 12 is on the way, so maybe that is the PAYWARE version they talk about, and maybe that is the freeware. We don't quite know yet. In any case, what we do know is maybe the developer has been looking for ways to find his add-on in Xbox, which necessarily will have to go through Marketplace, and obviously going to a bigger publisher like Aerosoft might be a way to do that. And we also know that if they release something like that in Marketplace, they need to make it PAYWARE with a minimum price of $4.99. Now, looking back into the original topic, it doesn't look like Aerosoft had actually announced the price for it, so maybe it is those $4.99 in Marketplace that we are looking for over here. In any case, what can we say about it? What do I think about it personally, that they are making a freeware a PAYWARE? Well, obviously, I have total understanding if any developer wants to start earning money with the work they are putting in. Just like I am monetizing my YouTube videos, I can totally understand if any other developer wants to monetize whatever he is doing and whatever energy he is spending in his flight simulator hobby. Now, there is generally nothing wrong with turning a former freeware project into a PAYWARE project. We've seen that a couple of times over the course of the history of not only Microsoft Flight Simulator, but also previous simulator versions. Just think, for example, in the very beginning, INI builds and RD presets were creating freeware configurations for GSX and the like, and they turned into some really good developers. Maybe that's what we're going to see over here as well. In any case, when you do something like that, when you are turning an add-on from freeware into PAYWARE, you should develop some new, more extensive features, and you should in general develop a way that makes it worthwhile paying for your add-on. Now, at least with the current previews that we've seen of Aerosoft's tool, I don't quite see how they did that yet. But then again, remember how Matthias said that they are going to do some additional features, or how they're at least leaving a room for those additional features to be added later on. In any case, it is something that I'm going to keep my eyes on, as I am certainly on the search for a new Pushback add-on, and I am going to keep you guys posted whenever new information becomes available. In the meantime, I would like to say thank you very much for joining. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then do let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the idea of turning toolbar pushback into a PAYWARE add-on, and if you think that it can just be done like so, without adding anything new, or if it does require some additional features in order to make it worthwhile for you. In any case, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Enjoy your upcoming weekend. Enjoy whatever time it is when you are currently watching this. I see you around in the virtual skies very soon, and until then, thank you very much, and see you around.